I think when if we go back to July, August 2021, I remember in July 2021, it was India's presidency at the UNSC when the Taliban were slowly registering wins in Afghanistan, and they were slowly capturing the country. And I think as the president back then, I think India did feel a lot of pressure that way to kind of take initiative in terms of, coming out with some resolution in Afghanistan. And at that time, if you go back to the resolutions as well, the focus, there was a lot of emphasis, there was still some emphasis on Afghan owned and Afghan led process. And while India, as the president did make a call for ensuring that this territory of Afghanistan should not be used as a base to kind of attack other countries in the region. It also called for inclusive political development in the country, and that whatever transition happens, should be all inclusive. So I think when we start seeing how India reacted to the whole thing, I think we should put that as the first response. And I think subsequently, while in the initial days, the Indian leadership was also saying that they are kind of waiting for the situation to stabilize a bit in terms of, some semblance of security to come in, and then they will see how they want to react to that. But I think so on India's part, while it was resisting, and in terms of in completely accepting the fact that the Taliban are here to stay or they have come back to power, I think the situation developed on the ground fairly quickly. So if you there was the attack which happened at the airport in Afghanistan, which killed a lot of people, and the responsibility was taken by the ISTP. I think that raised a lot of that reiterated and reignited a lot of the fears that people in India had about the security implications of the Taliban coming back to power. And I think these factors then subsequently brought some sort of pragmatism in how India wanted to deal with it. But even back then, India still insisted on asking the de facto authorities in Afghanistan to formulate an inclusive government, and to focus on, and to respect the rights of women and minorities. So that was like the initial few weeks. Then there was a public meeting. There was a meeting between India's then ambassador to Qatar and the head of the Taliban's political office in Doha, which did create a perception that this, and kind of became an image of India's growing pragmatism, that while New Delhi is not very comfortable with the idea of the Taliban coming back to power in Afghanistan, and while they did kind of were slightly taken aback with how quickly it happened, and while it would pose a lot of security risk for India in terms of there being an absence of the US security umbrella which was there for a long time, it was kind of slowly taking stock of the situation. And I think I see that as the starting point of India's pragmatism. Since then, as we have seen, when the attack at the airport happened, after that there was a Chinese hotel, a hotel in Afghanistan with a lot of Chinese tourists, which was targeted, or the attack on the Russian embassy. I think all those attacks which happened, it made that security threat much more potent than it was eventually thought to be. So I think that infused a lot of pragmatism in the relationship. But I do feel even in those first 6 months, India was still very ambiguous in terms of how it wanted to portray its engagement. So it was still not very, not accept, like not publicly accepting that this is here to stay. There was like slow gradual engagement with the Taliban, but it was still not something that was seen as the inevitable, that this has to be done. I think then as situation slowly developed, considering the region that India is, considering there were other countries in the region like China and Russia who had started engaging with the Taliban, who had started, especially China, I think, and the bilateral relationship between India and China was also not at the best position at that time. I think all those factors also created a perception that if India does not act, there could be a situation where it would be left behind as opposed to the other countries in the region. And hence, India did slowly started recalibrating its position. So I think while it did stop the developmental aid that it was offering to the Afghan people, it continued with its humanitarian aid. It did give a lot of food and medical supplies that it has all historically been giving. It did start giving that as well. And I think after September 2021, the major development in the relationship in India's policy towards the Taliban regime was when India's then Joint Secretary of the PI division visited Afghanistan, and after that there was the opening of India's technical mission, which was which was the stated objective of it was to coordinate the humanitarian aid in Afghanistan. So I feel like the terror threat did kind of propel India to quickly take stock of how it wants to act towards the country. But I think it was slowly trying to also come at some consensus in terms of the humanitarian aspect of it. But I think what back then what happened, and if we compare it to what the relationship has been going through right now, I think there is a much more better understanding of the terror, the risk, the security risk that is posed by Afghanistan. So we also have to understand that the Islamic Emirate, which claims to be the sole authority in Afghanistan at the moment, they say that they have established a governance system. They say that a lot of the revenue, they've brought the economy back on track, that the economy is self-funded, and they make a lot of claims about their legitimacy. But we do have to understand that the situation within the country is not that stable. So we have to understand that while the Taliban on the face of it publicly might deny that there are no other terror groups inside the country, and that Afghanistan does not pose a risk to other countries, we do know that a lot of terrorist organizations like the ISKP, like the Al-Qaeda, are fast proliferating, have proliferated their networks within the country. So that does pose a lot of risk. And there is the fact that the Taliban publicly deny the presence of these groups inside the country also puts into question the kind of confidence that India can pose into the Taliban's capability in actually combating them. So I think that is still that is still a dilemma that India faces, that, even if it understands the importance of engaging in some form of shape with the Taliban in order to secure its own strategic interest, is that enough to ensure that India's interests would be protected? Because, the Taliban have their own considerations for reaching out to India. They have their own legitimacy constraints. Like, if we, something that I find very peculiar as like a scholar is when you see that the way that they project their own image to the outside world. So a lot of their statements, a lot of their public announcements emphasize on the fact that, their engagement with other countries is very pragmatic, and they do not, it's not that if two countries have adversarial relations, it means that they will also kind of follow that, and they frame it in a very pragmatic approach, while internally we do know that this is not how they function. So I think a lot of the contradictions within the Taliban regime itself makes India's position kind of precarious. But